Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning call. So first, we'll start with technical and derivative updates. What we saw yesterday was an expiry-based short covering for the both indices Nifty and Bank Nifty, where we saw that Nifty did had a volatile session and then in the end managed to close on the positive note. So that is one thing where open interest also came down by around 2.2%, with total open interest now at around 1.41 crore shares, indicating that some amount of short covering did happen in yesterday's trading session. Similar trend was witnessed for Bank Nifty, where Bank Nifty also did see covering for almost around 2.7%, with total outstanding now at around 27 lakh shares for Bank Nifty. If you look at the overall put call ratio for the next expiry, then we still witness that 15,800 and 15,900 calls have seen good amount of writing already, and on the lower end 15,200, 15,300 puts have seen good amount of writing. So that is where the overall range which we feel that markets will stay in. Though India VIX is on a higher end at around 21, we might still see these kind of volatile trading sessions. Today, though, SGX Nifty does indicate that there is an overall a positive opening, but we need to see how the overall sustenance happen. 15,800 is where we feel that immediate resistance might be there for the markets. If you look at the sector specific move, then there was a lot of long positions and short covering both happening in yesterday's trading session. If we to be specific, auto was one sector where there was good amount of long additions and short covering happening. So that is one sector where across the board we did see good amount of additions, be it two-wheelers, be it four-wheelers, or even be it the auto ancillaries. So stocks such as Maruti, Mahindra and Mahindra, TVS, Bajaj Auto, even on the battery space, Amar Raja tire space also did see good amount of long additions and short covering mixture. So that is one space which we need to be kept on radar, where it did show some kind of an strong momentum compared to the overall market trend. So that is where we still feel that there can be some amount of long positions being added. Besides that, IT and capital goods were the two space where good amount of traction was seen. On the long side, IT across the board did see good amount of long additions, be it Infosys, HCL Tech, TCS, Bsoft, Persistent, OFSS, Tech Mahindra. Overall, we have seen that good amount of long traction in that. Besides that, capital goods was one space where good amount of traction was seen. After a few days of retracement or sharp correction, we have seen defense stocks now also getting some traction. HAL and BEL can be watched out or kept on radar. There can be some amount of bounce. Besides that, Siemens, Voltas, and Whirlpool are the stocks which could saw good amount of long additions, with Crompton also seeing around 7.5% of additions in long open interest. If you look at the FII and DII data, then index futures they did buy worth 853 crores. Stock futures they have bought worth 1701 crore. DIIs did buy 2,438 crores worth in the cash markets, while a similar amount was supplied by the FII. 2,319 crores worth selling was seen by the FIIs. Now, moving on to the report call, on the cash segment, we have given LTI. One can buy LTI in the range of 1,415 to 1,413, with 4,038 as a stop loss and 4,290 as a target. And on the derivative front, one can buy 650 call for Bharat Forge. Bharat Forge 650 call in the range of 9 to 10, with stop loss of 4 and target of 20.5. With that, now I'll hand it over to Vishal sir for research updates.
Yeah, good morning. So a couple of news flow. First, starting on the IT side. So US-based IT major Accenture has announced that its result for quarter 3 has beaten revenue expectations for the quarter. Accenture, if you look at, has reported a revenue growth of around 22% YoY basis, but it has lowered its EPS guidance. That is primarily due to strong dollar. Now, what it means for Indian IT companies is Accenture earnings often signal the way the results for Indian IT company will move in the coming quarter. Now, if you look at Indian IT companies for the first quarter So if you look at Indian IT company earnings for the first quarter for FY23 is slated in the coming 1 month away. And given Accenture has reported a strong set of number in terms of revenue growth, I mean, we are expecting probably to have a positive rub-off in the IT space and in IT space. So a stock-specific view, this is a positive for all the IT company. But in the sector, if you look at, then we have a positive view or buy rating on Infosys and Gensar and in a mid and small cap, and Infosys TechM in large cap, and Gensar in mid and small cap. Next is on auto space. So two news flow. One is Indian IT largest two-wheeler manufacturer Hero Moto has announced that no company will be increasing prices for its motorcycle and scooter, and this price hike is to the tune of around 3,000 rupees. And if you look at historically, this will be the third major hike the Hero Moto Corp has announced on its product, and that is primarily due to the overall commodity uptake we are seeing. I think positive side is like, commodities in the last, I'll say 1.5 months, they have starting retracing, or probably they have started falling. So incrementally price hike, which companies are taking. So this will be positive for most of the auto and auto pack. If you look at from Hero point of view, then we have a buy rating on the stock and target price is 2,872 on the counter. Next, again, I mean, yesterday we have seen a pretty strong set of up move for many of the auto pack, though I think Miraj did mention on the short covering. But I think if you look at probably this price hike which the companies are taking and overall the commodity, the way they are retracing. So this is positive for all the commodity consumers, which auto is one such company. And further, like, Maruti has in a separate filing, they have announced like, they are opening booking for the new version of SUV, that is Brezza. I mean, like, previously Brezza had done pretty well. So I mean, expectation is probably in the new booking, this particular model will see a strong set of volume number going ahead. If you look at in auto space, our top pick remain Maruti Suzuki, M&M. In mid and small cap, it's Sona Comstar and SGS Enterprise. Last thing from my side is on FMCG. Hindustan Unilever has, I mean, they have done that AGM yesterday, and the chairman Nitin Pranjape on Thursday has flagged that unprecedented level of inflation will have an impact on the demand going ahead. But in this environment, company will continue to take a price hike. So overall, I think the filler, what HUL is giving to the market is like, price hike is something that is, I mean, like, can't be avoided, though demand could take a beating in this. I think in terms of strategy, probably like, overall, the thought process is there in the market, like, demand will see take a back step because the way the inflation is moving up in the system. And but I think the thought process on the margin, what the company is having, I think overall, I think if you look at it, it's a positive stance. Though I think in an absolute quantum point of view, it's not like, a high value item which HUL is selling. So in incremental basis, it won't in a major way, it won't pinch anyone's pocket. But yes, it will have a positive impact on the company's margin going ahead. Further, like, in the AGM, I mean, like, they did mention at a macro level, there are going to be a lot of difficult situation in terms of economic situation. Inflation is high, and geopolitical tension, which is primarily led by, like, Russia-Ukraine crisis, and then there is a pandemic which has just disrupted the supply chain. But I think one thing which you have noticed, what he mentioned is like, overall the growth rate at an India level, I mean, it has been pretty steady. And this, I think what we understand is like, it will benefit the likes of HUL. If you look at in terms of our recommendation on the counter, we have a buy rating and our target price is 2,676. Yeah, that's it from my side, and I'll pass it over to Hitendra now. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir, and good morning, everyone. I'll see more further research updates. First of all, we'll see Tata Steel is now planning for low CO2 steel making technologies in the UK and the Netherlands plant. Now they are working. First of all, they had separated their both Tata Steel UK and Tata Steel Netherlands as two independent companies from Tata Steel Europe, and they would be transitioned for low CO2 technologies in line with the company's goal to produce CO2 neutral steel by 2050. So this is a good step by Tata Steel. Secondly, if you see, then IFL Finance also got a board approval for raising 5,000 crore by issuing bonds. These bonds will be also offered to public issue subject to regulatory approvals. If you see, then there was a report by PwC that Indian media and entertainment industry is going to touch 4,30,000 crore by 2026. 4 lakh by 2026, and this would be across the spending by the consumer advisor across 52 territories. And this reports also highlight that India will overtake both France and UK and become the fifth biggest newspaper market by 2026, and will also be the country to grow in all total. So this would be positive for media and entertainment sector. ONGC Videsh, the investment arm of state-owned ONGC, has made an oil discovery in a block in Colombia, the Gumnisian. The Jammu and Kashmir Bank will also meet on 28 June for consider for fundraising. Dish TV, there was a news that Bombay High Court had dismissed a petition of Dish TV promoter group seeking to restrain Yes Bank voting right for DTH operator extraordinary AGMs, which they are taking away. Yesterday, if you see in Tata Motors, there was a fire incident in the Nexon electric vehicle. Tata Motors also said that this is the first incident in their 30,000 vehicles which they had produced and which are on road and which had crossed 1 million kilometers in all. And they will also release a detailed report of this fire incident. And Senior Road Transport Ministry is also waiting for that report. Century Plyboard has made an investment of 20.95 crore in its subsidiary Century Panels. Dalmia Bharat, Dalmia Bharat Steel has been underperforming from past few sessions due to high escalated cost pressures and inadequate prices. Thermax, if we see their energy and environment solution, Thermax group has bought 2 firms for the energy sector in India. In Vodafone Idea, if we see, then they had taken a 4-year moratorium for paying their dues, that is 8,837 crores AGR dues, and this addition would be exercised in the last year. Macrotech, the Lodha group is also planning to venture into Bangalore market, and they are going to develop the first housing project in Bangalore, which would bring up to sales of to 1,200 crore rupees. DCM Sriram said that their board has approved to invest up to 65 crores for 20% stake, 26% stake in SPV, which will be created by wind solar hybrid renewable project. And this would be a 50 megawatt of renewable power supply, that is 25 megawatt from total the clock. And it would also invest up to 57 crore to manufacture the sulfate K2SO4 potash for 4600 TPA. That would be in the Haryana UP sugar facility. If you see, then oil imports, then now India, Russia oil import has jumped up to 50 times, and this accounts for the 10% of the total oil import. Earlier, if you see, then before March or April, it was only 0.2% of the total import. So if you see that to keep the oil prices cool in our country, India is now taking aggressively from Russian oil, and which are getting at a $70-80, so that our crude or our petrol diesel price does not rise, and this does not give a rise to inflation also. Route Mobile is also considering a buyback proposal, which will be on June 28. And Bajaj Auto has also said that they are also going to reconsider their buyback proposal, which will decide on 27 June. So that's it from mine. I'll hand over to Kshitija for Hindi updates.
Thank you everyone. Thank you Hitendra. Good morning everyone. अभी हम लोग ये कॉल को एक बार हिंदी में कर लेते हैं। कल आईटी कंपनी जो यूएस आईटी कंपनी एसेंशियल, उसका Q3 का रिजल्ट आया। कंपनी ने जो रेवेन्यू था उसको बीट किया है, और जो रेवेन्यू है वो 32% से इंक्रीज हुआ है ईयर ऑन ईयर, और सिर्फ लोअर ईपीएस है उसका गाइडेंस आया है क्योंकि जो डॉलर अभी स्ट्रॉन्ग है उसके वजह से। हमारा लार्ज कैप स्टॉक में आईटी में इन्फी और टेकम पे रेटिंग पॉजिटिव है, और मिड कैप और स्मॉल कैप में जेंसाटेक पे व्यू पॉजिटिव है। नेक्स्ट अपडेट है हीरो मोटोकॉर्प के ऊपर। हीरो मोटोकॉर्प ने अभी तक लगातार 3rd टाइम जो 2 व्हीलर्स और उसके ही प्राइसेस इंक्रीज किए हुए हैं। तो अभी हीरो मोटोको ने बोला है कि वो प्राइस इंक्रीज करेगी मोटरसाइकिल्स और स्कूटर्स पे, और वो 3000 पर यूनिट रहेगी, और ये जो रेंज है वो इफेक्टिव जुलाई 1 से स्टार्ट होगी। और ओवरऑल हम लोग देखे जाए तो ऑटो सेगमेंट में हमारा लार्ज कैप में मारुति और एमएनएम के ऊपर बाय रेटिंग है, और मिड कैप एंड स्मॉल कैप में सोनाकॉम और एसजीएस के ऊपर बाय रेटिंग है। इवन मारुति ने जो न्यू बुकिंग है वर्जन ऑफ एसयूवी जो ब्रेजा की वो स्टार्ट की है, तो इससे एक पॉजिटिव एक्सपेक्टेशन है ये वर्जन से, तो ये पॉजिटिव रहेगा मारुति के लिए। नेक्स्ट अपडेट है एफएमसीजी सेक्टर के ऊपर। कल एचयूएल की हिंदुस्तान यूनिलीवर की एजीएम हुई, तो जो अभी वो लोग प्रोडक्ट्स के जो प्राइसेस है वो इंक्रीज करने वाले हैं। फिर जो अभी इन्फ्लेशन देखे जाएंगे उसके वजह से जो मार्केट में ग्रोथ है वो मॉडरेट है और वॉल्यूम ग्रोथ भी डिक्लाइन हो चुकी है। तो ओवरऑल प्राइस हाइक से कंपनी का पॉजिटिव स्टांस है, क्योंकि कंपनी के जो मार्जिन है उसमें पॉजिटिव स्टांस है इसके वजह से। तो हमारी ये स्टॉक पे बाय रेटिंग है और जो टारगेट प्राइस है वो 2676 है। नेक्स्ट अपडेट है कि राउट मोबाइल और बजाज ऑटो ने बायबैक के लिए अनाउंसमेंट किया। बजाज ऑटो ने प्रीवियसली डिफर्ड किया था बायबैक का, बट अभी कल ही अपडेट आया कि बजाज ऑटो फिर से बायबैक के लिए सोचने वाला है और 27 को उनकी मीटिंग है। नेक्स्ट अपडेट है इंडिया और रशियन ऑयल जो इंपोर्ट है वो अभी 50 टाइम्स जंप हो चुका है, जो प्रीवियसली अप्रैल से, और जो प्रीवियसली सिर्फ 0.2% था जो ओवरऑल इंडिया इंपोर्ट करती थी उससे। ये रशिया यूक्रेन का वॉर के बाद बहुत ही ज्यादा अप्रैल के बाद गवर्नमेंट ऑयल जो है वो बॉट कर रहा है। नेक्स्ट अपडेट है डीसीएन श्रीराम के ऊपर। कंपनी के जो बोर्ड है उन्होंने इन्वेस्टमेंट 65 करोड़ जो है उसके लिए अप्रूवल दे दिया है। वो मिनिमम 26% स्टेक है एसपीवी में। सो ये लोग वाइन सोलर हाइब्रिड रिन्यूएबल पावर प्रोजेक्ट क्रिएट करने वाले हैं। तो इससे 50 मेगावाट रिन्यूएबल पावर सप्लाई जो होगा वो एसपीवी से होगा। इसके अलावा कंपनी और 57.10 करोड़ इन्वेस्ट करने वाली है मैन्युफैक्चर सल्फेट पोटैश में। तो इससे अप्रोक्स 4600 टीपीए जो कैपेसिटी है वो हरियाणा के प्लांट में उनकी प्रोड्यूस होगी और ये डिराइव करेंगे बाय प्रोडक्ट्स। नेक्स्ट अपडेट है डिश टीवी और यस बैंक के ऊपर। बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट ने थर्सडे को जो डिश टीवी का प्रमोटर का इक्विटी अगेंस्ट यस बैंक का जो अपील था उसको डिसमिस कर दिया है। माइक्रोटेक जो डेवलपर्स कंपनी उन्होंने थर्सडे को मतलब कल अनाउंस किया है कि वो बेंगलुरु मार्केट में एंट्री करने वाले हैं और वो जॉइंट वेंचर फॉर्म करने वाले हैं और जो फर्स्ट हाउसिंग प्रोजेक्ट है वो डेवलप करेंगे और उसका जो एस्टिमेटेड सेल्स बुकिंग की जो वैल्यू है वो 1200 करोड़ है। वोडाफोन आइडिया है, उन्होंने 4 ईयर का जो मॉरेटम था पेइंग अमाउंट थी वो 8837 करोड़ थी, वो उनकी एजीआर में ड्यूज है और अभी ये एडिशनल जो ऑप्शन है वो एक्साइज हो चुका है लास्ट ईयर में। तो इधर टेलीकॉम जो ये कंपनी है उसके पास ऑप्शन है कि जो कन्वर्ट करेंगे इंटरेस्ट ऑन द डिफर्ड अमाउंट में और एडिशनल इक्विटी गवर्नमेंट को देगी। थर्मैक्स कंपनी है एनर्जी एंड एनवायरमेंटल सॉल्यूशन में, उनको 2 फर्म्स जो रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सेक्टर से इंडिया में उसको बॉट करने वाली है। सेंचुरी प्लाईबोर्ड ने इन्वेस्टमेंट करने का सोचा है जो उनकी सब्सिडरी कंपनी है सेंचुरी पैनल्स में और जो अमाउंट है वो 20.95 करोड़ है। नेक्स्ट अपडेट है टाटा मोटर्स के ऊपर। गवर्नमेंट ने इंडिपेंडेंट जो इंक्वायरी लगाई है जो नेक्सॉन इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल जो फायर हुआ था बॉम्बे में, इसके अलावा टाटा मोटर्स कंपनी खुद भी इन्वेस्ट कर रही है ये इंसिडेंट के ऊपर। डिश टीवी ने जो पिटिशन हाईकोर्ट ने जो डिसमिस किया डिश टीवी का पिटिशन प्रमोटर ग्रुप का जो यस बैंक के अगेंस्ट था वो। जम्मू कश्मीर बैंक की फंड रेजिंग के लिए 28 जून को मीटिंग होने वाली है। नेक्स्ट अपडेट ओएनजीसी के ऊपर है। ओएनजीसी जो स्टेट ओन ओएनजीसी जो कंपनी है उन्होंने एक ऑयल डिस्कवरी ब्लॉक कोलंबिया में करने वाले उसका अपडेट कर दिया है। इंडियन मीडिया है उसका एक डेटा आया है। इंडियन मीडिया और एंटरटेनमेंट जो इंडस्ट्री है वो उन्होंने 44.3 लाख करोड़ जो है वो 2026 तक उसका टच होगा और जो इंडस्ट्री का जो ग्रोथ है वो 8.8% CAGR का एक्सपेक्टेशन है और ये जो आउटलुक रहेगा वो 2022 से लेके 2026 के लिए दिया है। और अभी तक का रिपोर्ट है कि इंडिया ने ओवरटेक किया है फ्रांस और यूके को और फिर बिगेस्ट न्यूज़पेपर बने मार्केट में रहेगा 2026 तक ग्लोबली। IIFL फाइनेंस के जो बोर्ड है उन्होंने 5000 करोड़ का जो फंड रेजिंग है उसके लिए अप्रूवल दिया है, और ये जो फंड रेजिंग है वो प्राइवेट प्लेसमेंट बेसिस से होगा। टाटा स्टील ने एक प्लान किया है कि वो जो ट्रांजिशन है लो कार्बन टेक्नोलॉजी जो स्टील मेकिंग कंपनीज है यूके और नेदरलैंड में, और ये जो दो सेपरेट इंडिपेंडेंट कंपनीज है उनकी जो सेपरेशन की जो प्रोसेस है वो कंप्लीट हो चुकी है, टाटा स्टील यूके एंड टाटा स्टील नेदरलैंड्स की। और जो ये दोनों भी कंपनीज हैं वो डेवलप करने वाली है लो CO2 टेक्नोलॉजी इन लाइन। सो कंपनी का गोल है कि वो प्रोड्यूस करेंगे CO2 न्यूट्रल स्टील बाय 2050 इन यूरोप। So that's it from my end. Thank you everyone for joining the con call. Have a nice day.